Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Mike with smartoptiontrade.com. It is Sunday, the 28th of December. This is my week ahead video. No charts this week. We'll resume charts next weekend. So I'm going to put this out there for free. I hope you guys all had a great Christmas and wishing everybody a very healthy, happy, and prosperous new year as we head for the end of the year. So it is a short week. We have full trading days on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. The markets close Thursday. Then we have a full trading day on Friday. My plan for this week is to work Monday, Tuesday, and probably a half day or so on Wednesday, and then Thursday off, and then a full day on Friday for you guys in the room. Or if you'd like to join us, I'll put a link in the description. We have retail inventories on Monday at 8:30 with wholesale inventories, Dallas Fed manufacturing at 10:30, Chicago PMI on Tuesday at 9:45, and PMI manufacturing final on Friday at 9:45. There is no earnings this week, nothing out there. Let's talk sentiment here as we go in. We look at the oscillators here, and we remain neutral. Plus 30 here on the Nasdaq is on the positive side of neutral. Plus 49 on the New York Nasdaq. The same thing. Positive. I'm sorry. New York Stock Exchange positive side neutral. Nasdaq was plus 30. Your advanced decline line. Look at this push up in the Dow and the NDX. Everything else is kind of flatlining. Highs versus lows on this S&P 500 plus 62 versus 13 remains strong. On the Nasdaq, plus 154 versus negative 199. We've been inverted again, so the strength of this market remains out of tech. Put the call is neutral, and market breadth is chopping around and paused on the Nasdaq, whereas the New York Stock Exchange is turned up and at an all-time high. So the ES, as we go into this week, the ES has not quite made an all-time high, 7,014. It's just off of it. We talked about yesterday when we came in on to trade here on Friday morning. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up days in a row going into Friday. I'm like, don't be surprised if we get a little inside day here, low volume. And that's exactly what we got. Just a little inside day, a little low volume day, nothing to see here. And everything continues to look fine. NQ, similar, just not quite as strong, nowhere near the highs. Crude overall remains weak, rejected hard at the 50-day. Bonds trying to come off the lows, but not doing much. Gold remains on a tear, new all-time highs on Friday. Silver, new highs. Look at the size and the explosion of that candle. Um, Bitcoin remains nobody wants it here. The 21-day. Talked about this, trapped under it. For everybody out there in my room, we did the 2026 outlook and names I think can outperform. We put that webinar yesterday. I hope you enjoyed it. I just posted in Discord in the 2026 outperform under resources. You can see everything there. I'll posting charts there as well soon. All right, so great one there. Thanks for joining me with that. Bitcoin remains out of play. The VIX. Nothing going on here. Put a range, a 52-week low in on Wednesday, up a little bit Friday, not much. HYG continues. HYG continues to kind of, just hang out. The transports, not much going on here. And overall, the dollar, nothing going on here either. All right, so we'll come back to the SPY and let's talk about the week ahead and where we're going. You had a nice move up. You put in a new all-time high on Friday briefly. We didn't hold it. We had a very narrow candle on very low volume. You can see very low volume. This is very typical for this time of year. We did 41 million shares on Friday. The next week will be very similar. The big trader is basically gone, and it'll be mostly algos and retail trailers and some funds and some window dressing going on into the end of the year and some tax loss selling and harvesting. Overall, I think this market is set to start to break out to the upside. It's just doing it now after a couple months of sideways action. Any dip should be hopefully shallow. You'd like to hold by the close of next Friday above 688.20. That would mean Santa Claus has come. And this would be, if Santa Claus doesn't come, this would be the third year in a row he did not come to the markets, and that would not be a good thing. So we'll see, but that's never happened before. Bottom line is Santa right now has started to come, and we've seen this rally continue to push a little higher here. Like to push on up, and we can just kind of grind our way a little bit higher. So you ask what do you like this week? What don't you like this week? Well, it really comes down to looking around. The financials remain strong. JP Morgan just broke out the highs. Wells Fargo also breaking out the highs. Citigroup, right? Goldman's the lagger there, so maybe there's a catch-up trade to be had on that one if you want to watch that. Names like Target, rumors of an active investor on Friday. We'll keep an eye on that one. Walmart, a little bit of a pullback after hitting all-time highs. Costco and retail names mostly remain weaker and out of play, but trying to build. You go out there, energy remains place. I don't see anything I want there. And then we can talk about the space area, ONDS. We continue to talk about watching for this one to, get a nice break of nine and hold. Rocket Lab hit a new all-time high last week and pulled back to the 8-day. We'll see if that holds. Names like BKSY, these small little names, right, still holding in well, but couldn't hold that nice little pop above 23, but still looks good overall. ACHR also, just kind of flattening down here, not much going on. Uh, Crypto remains weak. Coin to me just remains a name out of play. MSTR, BMNR, these names just remain out of play. B, There we go, BMNR. These remain out of play and not a place I want to be. Hood seems to be going into a consolidation phase, right? Just kind of stuck here, making a series of lower highs and not doing very much. So it's just mostly out of play. We switch our talk over to the semis. The SMH is just off the all-time high. NVIDIA has woken up. All right, the beast has finally woken back up. It's in the consolidation phase. It's pushing back up here. Next target to me would be to come up and test the top of this candle up here at the 195, I'm sorry, 196 level. We'll see if it can get up there. All right, that would be my next level on that one. Avgo, finally a couple updates in a row, still not looking special. Intel with that news got beaten up a little bit, but holding in. AMD just kind of sideways here. Most of the semis are pretty much out of play. We'll talk big cap tech because we always like to talk big cap tech. And Microsoft here has a nice little mid-level flag here, and with room back up to that 490, 175 area, and then we'll see if we can break out. Amazon has been trying to strengthen up and it's firmed up nicely the last couple of days. I'd like to see if it can push up into that 235 and then maybe even up higher. I think this one is still primed. Tesla pulled back, lost the 8-day here. Still in a nice little flag. As long as we don't fill this gap, I think we remain fine. So you really want to hold this 467 area. 21 days coming up to there, but overall, a little bit of a pullback here. Couldn't really break and hold this 490 area. You can see how many times the candles came up to that area and got rejected. So 490 is a big area to clear there. Meta trying to break the 200-day, needs to break that. Nothing's changed. Apple had a nice little update over 275. We'll put that one on our watch list. Google remains stronger, holding the 8-day here just off the all-time high. Like this one above last week's high, and then we'll see if we can push up into that 320 area. Palantir has that gap to fill. Again, rejected hard there and pulled back out of it. You're not letting it into that right now. Salesforce, we talked about this weekend. Nice break above to range highs there. I think this one's primed to continue to try to grind up higher and overall looking fairly good. Take that aside, you look around out there, you have names like QBIT, I'm sorry, RGTI, these quantum plays, not really doing all that much right now. IONQ, another one not doing much. They're kind of just waiting for news there. And overall, the market's quiet. So my plan for this week is very simple. I am already sitting in some Amazon calls out into January and a couple of hood calls out there and some mini ES. And I will look to continue to play around with those and trade around them. I'll look for what has momentum every day in the morning, and that's what I'll focus on. And, if you followed me last week, it was like one or two trades a day, and that's it. Made money, got in, got out, took my money, left maybe some runners on, especially on names I liked. I like the way Amazon's moving, Nvidia's waking up and ride those until they run out of momentum and see if they can get some forward moving. Bottom line is the market's quiet. It's likely to be a fairly quiet week, a little busier than last week, but overall quiet. So, no hero stuff. Don't try to kill everything. Just make a little bit of money, move on, and wait for the start of next year to really see the market come back alive and get that volume coming in. I'll leave a description below if you want to join us in the room. I hope everybody had a great holiday. Guys, catch you bright and early tomorrow morning.